Hey there, I'm Julie, and this is the Married to Addiction podcast. If you're here, then you're probably what I call my secret sister. We're in a situation we never asked to be in and fighting a battle we never wanted to fight. We're women who are married to an alcoholic, and it affects every inch of our lives. If that sounds like you, then I want you to know that this is a safe place for you to land. Married to Addiction is a faith-based podcast where I'll help you find the tools and strength you need to navigate your husband's addiction without losing yourself in the process. So please subscribe and tune in as often as you're able, because your husband's recovery is important, but so is yours. Hey there, it's Julie. Welcome to episode 3 of the Married to Addiction podcast. Today we're going to be talking about how do you know if your husband is an alcoholic? How do you know if you're really dealing with a problem, or if it's just maybe something that's not quite a problem and you might just be a little sensitive about it? Because I know that was something that I thought at the beginning. So you might be here and listening to this podcast because you're trying to find that out. You're wondering if your husband really has a problem. You're wanting to hear my experience and other experiences so that you can kind of gauge where he's at on the range, if it's really something that is an issue. So I absolutely was in that same position at first. I remember Googling it and, trying to figure out by things that I was reading online, like, was I just overreacting? Was I just being too sensitive about it? Or were we really dealing with a problem here? So I kind of want to shed some light on that for you today. The short answer is that if a person's use of alcohol is causing problems, whether it's in the family, whether it's at their job, whether it's physically, whether it's legally, whatever it is, if it's causing problems in those areas, then yes, a drinking problem exists. So that could look several different ways, and it plays out in families in different ways. So maybe he's missing family events. Maybe, you were invited to go out to dinner with your parents, but he can't come now because he's had too much to drink. Maybe you're making excuses for him. Maybe you're calling into work for him because he's had too much to drink, or he did the night before. Maybe when you do go to dinner with your parents, you tell them that he can't come because he's not feeling so good. Boy, I did that a bunch. Yeah, he doesn't feel so great. I think he's sick. He must have allergies, whatever it was. But the fact of the matter is that he was too inebriated to go to dinner, or, was sick directly because of that. If you notice that your husband just finds it difficult to stop when drinking, he just keeps drinking and drinking to where he's obviously inebriated, and you're thinking to yourself, this probably isn't great for my kids to be seeing him like this. There's a problem. So I know that sometimes we don't want to overreact. We don't want to feel like we're addressing a problem that's not there. But we also don't want to underreact. We don't want to ignore this if that's really what we're dealing with, because let me tell you, it's not going to fix itself. It's not. So we really do need to identify whether or not this is what we're dealing with. So if that sounds like you, and if now that you've heard those examples, you're saying, okay, yeah, we have a problem. Now what do I do? What should you do? So if that applies to your husband, the most important thing that you do is, the first thing that I want you to do is something to get help for yourself. You have got to get help and support for yourself. And I know that sounds backwards, especially if you're at the beginning of this journey, because you're thinking, I need to get help for him. And that's true. But one of the biggest mistakes that we make as wives of alcoholics is we become so fixated on getting him help in his recovery that we completely just let taking care of ourselves and the attention that we should be giving to the other things in our lives, i.e. job, i.e. kids, i.e. other family members, friendships, ourselves, our health, everything, pretty much. We let that all start falling to the wayside, and that is a very slippery slope. So I want you to be crystal clear on the fact that, yes, your husband does need help if you've identified that he is an alcoholic, but so do you, friend, so do you. the sooner you recognize that and you accept that and you start working on that, the better off you will be, the better off your kids will be, the better off your husband will be. So being here is a really great start. The fact that you're sitting here and listening to this podcast or running or driving or whatever you're doing, the fact that you're listening to this podcast right now is a great start because this is for you. And this will tell you how to navigate all the other stuff that's going on around his addiction and how to best help everyone else while also making sure that you're helping and protecting yourself. There's more help available for you as well. I do have a 30-day online program if you need way more specific support, if you really just need to dive into all the different things that you can do, that you need to do specifically, if you just want to fast track it. And, it is a process. So I don't mean fast track it like you take the course and in a week everything's fine, but it's a lot more information that you can get more quickly in a program or a course format, which this is. So if that sounds like something that would be helpful for you, I would love for you to go check that out. It is available for you if you think that's something that would help. You just need to go to my website, marriedtoaddiction.com, and you can find a tab for it there. I would love to have you in there. That course contains everything that I learned by doing it the hard way. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I would absolutely love for you to please go check that out. If the doors aren't currently open, depending on when you're listening to this, please get on the wait list. A lot of times there's an extra benefit or two for people who are on the wait list when the doors do open back up to the program. So make sure if they aren't currently open that you do hop on the wait list. So I hope that's been helpful for you to identify exactly, what it looks like when your husband is an alcoholic and what you might be seeing that would be indicative of that being the case. As always, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to the Married to Addiction podcast today. I would love to give you a free gift to thank you for being here. It's my free ebook, and it's called 10 Powerful Prayers to Pray Over Your Husband and Your Marriage. All you have to do is head to my website, marriedtoaddiction.com, and look for the tab that says free ebook. You just enter your information and you will have instant access to the download. I hope it really helps you. I'm praying for you, and thank you so much again for being here. I'll talk to you soon.